Hey class, welcome to part 2 of Simple Video Presentation Tips. In this video, we are going to look at knowing your purpose when creating a presentation or writing a paper. As with knowing your audience, knowing your purpose behind creating a presentation is absolutely vital to make sure you can communicate effectively and provide something that is going to educate, entertain, and enlighten anyone who might be reading or viewing your presentation. So when you're paying attention to the reason and purpose behind your presentation, you want to consider whether you want to inform, persuade, debate, entertain, or something else your audience. So when you are creating a presentation, why are you doing it? Is this a school assignment? Is it something you're doing for work? Do you want to create a presentation to get a better job and a promotion? Or are you just doing this for fun and you want to share something on TikTok? Be aware of why you are creating a presentation. If you don't know why you're doing it, maybe you should take a minute to step back and consider that. Chances are if you're watching this, it's probably for a school or work-related presentation, because I don't know how you would find this video otherwise, but I'm going to assume that in this case it's for school, but these questions all apply to anything even outside of school. So if you want to inform somebody of something, a presentation like this is usually less interactive and it's more of the traditional speech method, where you're effectively standing up and presenting some information and just going through and educating someone. So in this case, you're going to want to focus on providing clear information. You also want sources and citations. And if it's a complex topic with people who are relatively new to the topic, you're going to want to start with the basics. If you go back and rewatch video 1 talking about knowing your audience, understanding their education level on a certain topic is important, because you don't want to explain complex terms to people who have no understanding, and likewise you don't want to waste time sharing the basics with a group of professionals. So when you're informing, either start with the basics or start with the place that you know your audience has a mutual understanding. And you also want to know where to begin with your purpose when you are considering your purpose. If it's a topic on, say, a medical condition or a procedure, do you necessarily need to begin in the 1800s when the first so-and-so began understanding of germ theory or something like that? Probably not. But if you actually want to give a broad overview of how a certain treatment or surgery was developed, then that might actually be interesting. So you really want to understand if you want to give a broad overview, present a very niche focus, or something in between. If you're trying to persuade somebody of something, this is when you might want to consider your rhetorical situations such as ethos, pathos, and logos, about appealing to emotions and authority and things like that. Persuasion takes more than just listing facts. There's that emotional and intellectual component that is missing usually from just straight informational presentations. And in this case, you're really going to want to research both your audience and the topic at hand. Debates are another form of presentation that are going to require a lot of research beforehand and a lot of practice. If you're doing a debate, you also want to be aware of whether it's a synchronous or asynchronous, meaning a live or recorded debate where you're going to be able to respond to questions immediately, or if it's more like a back and forth on a research paper where you'll present your ideas and then get feedback later. And in a debate, your tone and demeanor also play a big role. So if you're planning on going into a debate with somebody, you might actually want to be aware of sort of your emotional triggers, the things that really make you angry, that make you laugh, that make you annoyed, because emotions play a huge role in how you present information. And if, especially in a debate, you get flustered or angry or upset, even if you have accurate information, your entire presentation can be nullified or rendered obsolete or irrelevant because your emotions got in the way of that, and that can ruin your credibility and people won't take you seriously. Likewise, if your purpose is to entertain, then you might want to consider the presentation technology and tools more so than in the other ways that you're presenting information. And what I mean by that is that entertainment usually puts the actual style of presentation ahead of the information, meaning you could use fun graphics, fun colors, fun music, things like that. You're going to want to this is where your creative side comes out more, where getting people to connect with your information is done through creativity as opposed to just straight knowledge. So in this case, you are going to want to really get your creative hats on and look at graphics and maybe video editing software and things that really let you explore and connect with people in a audiovisual way that's beyond just strictly the information. So you want to know why you are presenting before you begin creating any presentation. If you want to inform someone, you want to educate them, you want to debate, you want to entertain, what your purpose is, that will determine the tools you use to create it. Whether you just have a straight video talking head because you're debating with somebody and that's all that's required, or you want to do a really colorful, fun presentation so that you can engage learners and keep them from being bored, especially if it's a complex topic. So I would say that entertainment and graphics and presentation quality in general really apply well to the medical field, because most people either don't find it interesting or a lot of medical information can go right over their heads. So this is when you want to use fun methods to make the information relatable and understandable and digestible for the average person who might not have a strong background or understanding of a complex topic. So ultimately, you just need to be aware of to whom you're speaking or presenting and why you are doing that. If you can answer those two questions, that is going to guide every single decision you make throughout your presentation process. And if you don't know the answer to those questions, either do some research to figure it out, or assume that it's a generalized audience where you want to provide simple information and explain the complex terms, acronyms, etc. in such a way that anyone can understand them. Because when in doubt, always make it approachable to just about everyone. Obviously, there's going to be incredibly skilled and intelligent people and others who might have zero understanding and not be able to understand it at all. There's always going to be fringe cases, but especially when you don't know your audience very well or specifically your purpose, start general, and then as you learn more about them, you can go from there. But when in doubt, just make it generalized, but still informative and engaging. And if you have any questions about this, don't forget to reach out and ask, and I will see you in the next video.